Hello everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something that impacts your future directly, the modern, high-paying commerce career pathways for 2026. You know, the whole landscape has shifted radically. It's not just about memorizing ledgers anymore. It's about strategy, global mobility, analytics, and getting a real return on your investment. Let's map out exactly which degrees and certifications are actually paying off right now.
Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. We'll be looking beyond the CA myth, exploring careers with maths, finding high salaries without maths, tackling the BBA, BCom, and BMS debate, checking out fintech and global certifications, and wrapping up with some crucial 2026 exam updates.
Let's start with Section 1, Beyond the CA Myth. It's time to unpack the most dominant narrative in the commerce stream.
If you're a commerce student in India, I bet you've been asked, so are you preparing for CA? It's a fantastic, highly respected qualification, for sure. But is it the absolute only path to prestige and a high salary? No way. That's the myth we're busting today. The reality in 2026 is that the traditional CA or nothing mindset is actually holding a lot of students back from finding paths that better suit their skills and timelines.
Just to put things into perspective, imagine making 20 to 25 lakhs per annum. And no, that's not some mid-career peak. That's the potential earning for a qualified CFA charter holder working in investment banking in cities like Mumbai. And the best part? You can start this journey right in your graduation years. It completely shatters the myth that only a chartered accountant can command top-tier compensation in the finance world.
Let's look at the actual numbers. A fresh CA pulls in around 8 to 12 LPA at a Big Four firm, which is excellent. But right next to it, a commerce grad with a strong data analytics certification can hit up to 10 LPA in Bengaluru within just a couple of years of graduating. You completely bypass the grueling 4 to 5 year CA exam cycle. And then we have the CFA at the top end. The takeaway here isn't that CA is bad. Actually, scratch that. CA is great. The real takeaway is that you have incredibly viable, high-speed, high-reward alternatives available to you right now.
That brings us to our first major fork in the road. Section 2. Careers with maths. If you scored reasonably well in accounts and business maths, and you don't mind crunching numbers, these pathways offer immense global credibility. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is the sheer variety of global mobility these courses offer. CMA, or Cost and Management Accountant, is a powerhouse for manufacturing and corporate finance, offering up to 20 LPA. Then you have the CFA, the absolute gold standard for investment banking, taking about 2.5 to 3 years to complete. And notice ACCA? This is the UK equivalent of a CA recognized in over 180 countries. It's currently seeing a massive hiring boom in the Big Four in India and the Middle East. Finally, actuarial science. Okay, it's tough, taking 5 to 7 years, but actuaries assess financial risk and are paid extremely well for that unique statistical skill. It's a massive ROI.
But hey, what if calculus and complex statistics just make you want to pull your hair out? Don't worry. Section 3, High Salaries Without Maths. This is honestly one of the most underserved topics in career counseling today.
You absolutely do not need advanced mathematics to thrive. Look at business analytics. Commerce students can enter data analytics with just Excel, SQL, and Power BI, no heavy tech degree required, and hit up to 12 LPA. Or consider a BA LLB. An integrated 5-year law degree sets you up for corporate law roles at major firms starting between 6 to 15 LPA. Digital marketing offers an incredible fast track too. Just a 6 to 12 month certification can get you freelancing or working at an agency almost immediately. And hotel management sets you up with fantastic trajectories in hospitality, covering the Taj and Oberoi chains. Literally zero advanced maths required for the whole shebang.
Now, before we look at specializations, we have to settle the foundational undergraduate dilemma. Section 4. BBA versus BCom versus BMS. Which degree actually gives you the best foundation?
Here is the core philosophical difference. BBA is fundamentally a skill-oriented degree. It's all about case studies, leadership, and soft skills. Essentially, it's preparing you for an MBA or jumping straight into a startup. BCom, on the other hand, is a knowledge-oriented degree. It focuses heavily on the theoretical foundations of accounting, audit, and taxation. So, if your ultimate goal is to clear CA or CS, BCom is your safest, most aligned bet. But then we throw BMS, Bachelor of Management Studies, into the mix. While BBA is broad, covering everything from HR to marketing, BMS is its highly analytical cousin. BMS leans heavily into logic, operations, and management theory. If you see yourself in consulting, strategic research, or working heavily with data, BMS provides that conceptual depth that a general BBA might lack.
Let's see how this builds into real-world compensation.
On their own, without master's degrees, BBA and BMS tend to yield higher entry-level corporate salaries, peaking around 9.5 and 10.5 LPA respectively. A standalone BCom maxes out slightly lower at around 6.5 LPA. Now, this doesn't mean BCom is a bad choice. It just means that in 2026, a BCom degree kind of needs to be paired with something else, like a certification, an internship, or a professional qualification to truly command those top-tier salaries.
And that extra edge brings us perfectly to Section 5, FinTech and Global Certifications.
FinTech is absolutely exploding. It's the intersection of finance and technology. Think digital banking, cryptocurrency, and AI-based credit scoring. Now, you might think this is just for computer science graduates. Nope. FinTech companies desperately need commerce professionals who actually understand financial strategy, regulatory compliance, and risk management to translate these complex technologies into real business solutions.
To break into this, or honestly any high-tier corporate role today, recruiters are hunting for specific add-on skills. We're talking about financial modeling, like the FMVA certification, USCMA, basics in SQL or Python, and an understanding of blockchain and digital payment systems. These are the practical, applied skills you can pick up relatively quickly to differentiate yourself from the millions of other standard commerce grads out there.
So here is the crucial takeaway. Adding just a short 3 to 6 month certification like the FMVA on top of a standard BCom degree gives you a massive entry-level salary bump of 20 to 35%. I mean, that's a real game changer. You don't need another 4-year degree to see a return on your investment. You just need to be strategic about adding the exact applied skills that the market is currently starved for.
Now that we've mapped the terrain, let's look at Section 6, 2026 exams and updates. Let's get into the tactical rule changes you need to know.
First up, the massive changes to the CA curriculum in 2026. The ICAI has really modernized the process. We are now looking at 4 foundation papers, and they streamlined 6 papers each for inter and final. The biggest game changer? 30% of the exams are now case study-based multiple choice questions with absolutely no negative marking. Huge relief, right? Plus, the mandatory articleship has been reduced to a much more focused 2-year period. It is a much smoother, practical journey than it was a decade ago.
If you're looking at the Indian CMA, there's a bit of confusion to clear up. Even though we're talking about 2026, the active framework right now is still Syllabus 2022. The highly anticipated Syllabus 2026 won't actually see its first exams until the June 2027 attempt. So if you're registering today, focus your preparations squarely on the current 2022 materials. Don't let the names trick you.
And for those of you targeting premier undergraduate programs, mark your calendars right now. The NMIS NPAT exam, your gateway to top BBA and BMS programs, opened registration in January and closes on May 26th. If hotel management is your goal, the prestigious Oberoi STP program applications open in February and close in April. The window is tight, and these dates wait for literally no one, so get those applications ready.
Well, we've covered a ton of ground today, from shattering the CA myth to exploring high-salary math and non-math pathways, breaking down degrees, and highlighting the sheer power of fintech and certifications. The landscape is just rich with opportunity. So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you going to follow the default crowd, or are you going to strategically choose the path, whether it's an analytical BMS, a fast-track digital marketing cert, or a global ACCA that perfectly aligns with your strengths and your financial goals for 2026? The choice is entirely yours to make. Thanks for discovering these paths with me on this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.